Hi everyone, welcome back to Quest for You. This is episode 13. My name is Janine and I welcome you. How amazing that you're here with me. I can't get over the fact that you're tuning into my podcast and listening to my voice and what I have to say. So thank you. Meditation. Yep, that's what we're going to be talking about today. If you remember, a couple of podcasts ago we talked about presence. And a great way to cultivate your presence is through the practice of meditation. I kind of have that feeling that there are two sides out there. There are people that are very open to meditation and they already practice it. And then there are people that think it's all nonsense. But I hear more and more people speak about their meditation routine, so I think it's becoming much more mainstream. And with the help of science publishing research results on the benefits of meditation to our brain and our overall well-being, I think more people are giving it a try. And among those people that are trying it, I think there are some that struggle with it. I personally know some people that have told me they're trying to meditate, they're trying it, but it's hard for them. And I think when they talk about it being hard, they're referring to just the sitting still part and just the being with yourself part. But we'll get to that in a little bit. So I'm not here to convince you, and I don't want to force you, but I am here to help you become more open-minded. Remember, that's one of the things we talked about in the beginning, that I would like for you to bring to this podcast is just being open-minded and willing to stretch yourself a little bit. So I want to highlight some of the benefits of meditation today. So let's start with the word meditation. I think that many people have the wrong impression of what meditation is. There's a reason I dedicated an entire episode to presence. If you recall, I used the word mindfulness a couple times in that podcast instead of the word presence. It's the same with meditation. Often we get hung up on a term which we associate with something unpleasant, and then we immediately close ourselves off to it. And it's probably like that with meditation. You may be imagining a group of gurus sitting in a circle, clothed in linen and humming strange sounds. Or you may think it's super boring and useless. The thought of sitting in one spot and doing nothing for a certain amount of time, it could appear like a waste of time. But like presence, meditation is a critical element on the quest for you. And, like presence, it falls into the area of our lives that require quiet time, stillness, and an active listening to our inner voice. You see, without turning inward, we will not get the answers to the questions we have. It's just very difficult. The outside world, as you may have already tried and experienced for yourself, just doesn't give us everything we need to live a truly fulfilled and joyful life. So, meditation is a deeply personal practice. And because it's so personal, it is personalized. There's not a required procedure for you that you need to follow. It's all about you. You make your practice. The question is this: what do you want to get out of meditation? Well, you're probably thinking, well, you tell me why I should even try it. I think the reason it doesn't work for so many people is they go into meditation with a set of expectations. Like when they go to the gym, they're expecting weight loss and muscle gain. With meditation, they want to relax, or they think they're going to come out feeling special in a certain way. And when they don't see those specific results, they give up. I will need to do a separate podcast about expectations. Expectations are a goal killer. They're just a set of assumptions of what the outcome should look like, based on what we think it should look like. And they don't allow any room for surprises or something new and unexpected. So when it comes to meditation, we're talking about the fuzzy and personal area of your mind. your mind, your thoughts, and your consciousness. I like to say that meditation tones your mind. It's like exercise tones your muscles, but the path cannot be laid out like a workout schedule. Toning your mind is part of your personal journey, you with yourself. Now, if you're serious, you can get into a group, you can get a guide or a guru, but they will not prescribe a program for you either. So if you've never meditated, I suggest you start alone, in the comfort of your home. See, it's our tendency to enroll in yet another class because we don't trust ourselves with being able to do it right. But like I just said, meditation is not about performance. It's not about doing it a certain way. In fact, the instructions are easy. And above all, they're very flexible and adjustable. And I'm going to give them to you in a minute. But before I do so, I want to emphasize again something I said on a previous podcast, and that is important for you to understand before you begin your meditation journey. We tend to teeter between doing and not doing. We either run around like crazy, accomplishing stuff, or we tune out of life completely via screens, substances, or some form of entertainment. So meditation, you have to imagine it as kind of the road in between. You're not doing anything, but you're also not tuning out. And honestly, who wants to tune out and miss out of life anyway? I never get it. All this numbing that's going on under the umbrella of having a good time. We could have a much better time with life in general if we committed more to our own development. But okay, I'm not here to rant. We're going to talk about meditation. So think of meditation as tuning in or inward. During times of distraction, you're basically unconscious. Your mind is not engaged when you watch movies or you down another martini. During meditation, you're very conscious. In fact, I like to use the word intentional. You are intentional, not manipulative. You're not forcing your mind in any way, just intentional. You're listening to your mind, and you gently bring it to the places you want it to go. There's so many benefits to meditation, and we will talk about them in later episodes. For today, I don't want to overwhelm you. My hope with this episode is that you give meditation a try, maybe right after this. And I want to focus on really just one major benefit of meditation. Meditation is a way to bring awareness back into your life. I'm sure you've heard me talk so much about our thoughts and how they run our mind. Well, guess what? During meditation, you will become clearly aware of those thoughts. Because as you meditate, you observe them coming in. It's actually quite an amazing experience. It's like watching people coming and going. You become perceptive to the thoughts you're thinking. So, meditation is going to be an essential tool that you will use, that will help you redirect your thoughts. Without becoming still, it's very difficult to notice what's going on in your mind. Meditation shines a light on your thoughts. And once you know what's going on in your mind, you're in a much better place to understand what drives your actions. Because as you know, our thoughts drive our behavior. By observing your thoughts, you will realize how strange some of them are. The same awareness that you gain by observing your thoughts will also reflect in your behavior. As you take care in discerning your thoughts, you'll learn to be more deliberate with your actions and your behavior. But I'm already telling you about more of the amazing benefits of meditation. I promise I will talk about them in other episodes. So for today, and for now, just start. So here are the instructions. Very easy, 3 simple steps. The first one is just find a quiet spot in your home and some time. And if you're a time junkie like me and you're very controlled with your time, you can even set a timer, that's okay. But start easy. 5 minutes is plenty. You can work your way up later. Step 2, sit down or lay down. I find sitting a bit more attentive than laying down. I only lay down when I want to sleep, But again, it's up to you and whatever makes you comfortable. I prefer sitting. And then step number 3 is focus on breathing. When I read articles about meditation and they tell you to clear your mind, it's usually one of the magic steps that they have, then I always wonder, you cannot really ever clear your mind. I think that's another thing what makes people become so frustrated with meditation is they're trying to clear their mind. It's impossible. You can't clear it. So don't even set that as an expectation for yourself. And remember, there are no expectations, no pressure, there's no force. All we want to do is gain awareness. We want to find a way to connect with ourselves. That's really all for now. Later we can expand on this. We can set clear intentions. But to start out, let's not make it too complicated. So back to the breath. My recommendation with the breath is this. You breathe a little bit more slowly than your normal breath. In fact, you're going to become aware of how shallow our breath is. When I say our, it's really for most of us. It's shallow. We breathe all day long. We don't even realize that without breathing we wouldn't be alive. So that's a little side benefit of meditation is you become aware of your breath. So breathe slowly in through your nose and slowly out through your nose or your mouth. It's your choice. And just do this. Focus on your breath. You may have heard people tell you to count. I find that hard. If I also now have to focus on counting, that's just a little bit much. I don't usually count. I just breathe slowly in. Sometimes I hold it for a second. And then I breathe out. We can do this together if you want. So basically, what I do is I breathe in and it goes like this. I hold it for a second. And then I breathe out. It's hard to speak and breathe at the same time. But just do this. Just focus on your breath. That's all you need to do. And if thoughts come to mind, observe them. But don't force yourself to think nothing. Don't get frustrated with anything, especially if certain thoughts come to your mind. If you find yourself thinking about what's for dinner, that's fine. Just make a note of it. Remember when I said it's like watching people? Use that analogy. See yourself as someone from a distance observing what comes and goes through your mind. 3 easy steps. And we will explore this further in future episodes. It should not be this overwhelming task, okay? I encourage you to try it right after this podcast. Again, find a quiet spot, sit or lay down, and breathe. And one more thing. Do this every day. Sorry, yes. Meditation is not a one-time thing. It should become a routine if you truly want to see some of the amazing benefits. Awareness will not come today or tomorrow. It will take some time. And remember, we said awareness is our goal. We want to become aware. We want to tune inward. We want to get back to ourselves. We want to be clear on what's going on in our mind. We want to understand how our mind controls our actions, and so on. All these little things I say in these episodes are connected, right? So this is all part of the journey. It takes effort and it takes a little bit of discipline. And that's why I say if you only have 2 or 3 or 5 minutes every day, which I bet you do, use them. These steps that I just described are very simple. Just sit down and breathe. That's all you have to do. Easy, right? And we'll talk more in future episodes of how you can expand on that practice. But don't worry, there aren't any major rules. And the great thing by starting off that easy and that simple and with just a little bit of time, you kind of find your own practice already as it goes. And you're going to be then a little bit more resistant to rules that people will tell you later. You're kind of finding your way, and that's what I want for you to do. Find your way. All right. time for me to end this episode because it's already longer than any other. So I'll leave you with this today, and I wish you a wonderful day. Start with your breathing and start with your meditating. Much love.